my my screen for so you can see the website?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You can see it right there, I hope.
Yes.
All right.
Now, do you have any video on any of these clips?
No,
Audio
this is the only video that I got,
Okay.
and it has no audio.
All right.
So this is my portfolio, and I'm studying for 3D modeling and visual effects, and this is my portfolio site. Let's get started with the background video. This was a project I made, a team project that I made with Rick and Anastasia on a class. This was a really fun project. I made a citadel and the Middle Ages, medieval era, and we wanted to portray through storytelling that nothing is permanent. Eventually, everything withers away and becomes one with nature. Let me go down here. Now, this was not our first iteration. We first wanted to make the throne be pristine and preserved and show the immortality of history. But then after we thought about it more, we thought like nothing is really immortal and everything eventually dies. So we wanted to show the throne become wither away as well with everything else. And this is the first shot that I made. We wanted to make the throne look grand and ominous, that had once power, but with the lower shot. Then here with the throne, the establishing shot, we wanted to make this feel like grand, big, like they once had a lot of power when first walking in, and show how we added some dust particles to show like the air had musk in it, like it was hard to breathe. Uh, and then the library. Oh, I accidentally opened that. The library, which had like all the knowledge that once the kingdom had, like it no longer exists, and it was just dust and spider webs. And a small little paint over that I did. This was just to show how we wanted the end product to look during the pre-production. No, it wasn't during the production. Just how we wanted to make the final product to look like. And the bottom, you can see all the pieces that I made. I'll go into more detail in what I did on the next pages, because here's a combination of what we all did, but eventually I'll show you what the specific pieces that I made. And before that, I'll just go through like my process. First, I find inspiration that can come up from like a dream or something I saw or got inspired from. Just it can be anything that inspires me. Then the research, I try to research what I'm trying to do, like know the ins and out of the thing, like a guitar. Like I did also, like I searched all the parts that compose a guitar and make sure they're accurate. Then the layout, this is more, I put the project in front of me and see what is it missing, what do I need to research more, what do I need to study, what do I need to know to make this project successful. Then I go ahead with the asset creation. I just make all the pieces that I need, and then I compose it, bring it all together to a final piece, and come back to the asset creation if it needs anything. And then I'll go to the gallery. which shows the specific parts that I made. So here you can see all the members of the contributors to this project, the softwares that I made that I used to make it. It was Maya, Unreal Engine, and a Substance Painter for the textures. And here's the throne, and these are all the pieces that I made. The stairs, the railings, the door, the throne, the bottom of the throne, some of the windows, and then the final banner with okay. Then the living room. This was actually the first procedural modeling that I made. I was doing Houdini and a Substance Painter for the rendering and the textures. The, this I just one change that I would make is put more storytelling to this. Is too neat, too perfect, and I just wanted to have some more story here rather than just a neat, perfect living room. Hold on, the camera gets on my way. Then there's the guitar that I mentioned before. This was to Maya. I actually had a lot of fun project doing this because I really challenged myself with a Boolean here. I had to go by hand fixing the topology. I used Bezier curves for the strings and 3-point lighting for the rendering at the end. Then there's the actually the first time I did modeling here. It was doing a ZBrush. This is the Burj Khalifa. Even though it was just cylinders and squares, I remember having a struggle making this. ZBrush didn't want to work for me. It was fun, but it was somehow really challenging. Now that I go back to it, and it's just a square and a cylinder, and it seems really simple to make, but somehow it was very challenging and very fun too. And a little house that I made also in ZBrush with a tree, the leaves, and a little grass at the end. And those are so far all the projects that I've done. Here a little blog about me. Don't have a lot here yet since I haven't done a lot. But here's like what first inspired me to go to 3D modeling and VFX. I remember when I was 9, and my dad took me to watch Avatar, and I saw all the environments and the simulations that I saw, and it was way ahead of its time. And I wanna do that, and eventually I wanna see my name on the credits. That's my goal eventually. And that's everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Pablo. When you
Thank
say you
you.
see your name on the credits, you mean like a movie or
Yeah,
a game?
yes,
Okay.
I'm hoping to go into film. Yes.
Okay. All right. You're on a pretty good track. I'm gonna recommend you keep doing some Unreal stuff since a lot of movie and film things are leaning in to using that tech. And there's a lot of really great like resources there for you to keep going and keep doing things.
Mhm.
Can we go back to your work page where you're showing the different pieces that you do?
Yes.
Yeah.
That right here.
Yeah. Let's see. The living room is, I think, the most visually pleasing, and we can thank the renderer for that. I think that was done in
Yes.
Blender, yeah, or not Blender.
No,
Houdini.
Substance.
Oh, it was in Substance.
No, it was done in Houdini, but I rendered it out on a Substance Painter.
Cool. I'm going to recommend that I think you choose the renderer at the start of your project pieces when you know that you're going to make something. If you're gonna do it in Substance Painter, then you can design it as you go for that renderer, right? Right now, your renders are hurting the hardest at the moment. Go ahead and go back because I like looking at all of them together. We can kind of compare them. you know? Yeah.
Yes.
The Citadel was such a fun project for y'all. It's so dark.
It was. It
That's
was.
yeah. It's so dark. It's losing some detail there, and there's some lighting issues, which I remember you guys were struggling with. And if you have access to that project, you could still go back and keep working on that lighting if you want to.
Yeah.
Um,
So what happened is I operated my computer like
Mhm.
I got a whole new computer and the files seem too big to move to a USB. So I'm actually waiting right now on a external disk
Cool.
so I can actually transfer over my files here and start reworking on them.
Wonderful. That will help. I'll give you a keyword to look up. Okay. Look up
Yes.
GPU light mass when you look up how to do lighting. That will help greatly improve your overall lighting of your scene.
I'm looking for my pen to write
Cool.
it down. I already, wait, what's it called again?
GPU light mass. It's going to be a plugin you use in Unreal. It was their solve for similar problems of light bakes. They did a plugin sort of after the fact. I think it'll say that it's beta, but it's pretty stable. So look up
Yeah.
tutorials on how to do that. Go ahead and scroll down a little bit. Okay, so the miscellaneous might be some of your strongest stuff to be showing too. And it kind of hurts me a little bit that it says miscellaneous. It's like guitar, this Citadel, other. Like give me some context on this too as you're like selling yourself. Like, this is a miscellaneous, this is a building, right?
Yes.
This is an architectural study. What tell me some of the story in that in your portfolio. You don't have to tell me right now, but it should say so in the page itself. Because otherwise I won't know what it is unless you're here with me explaining it to me, you know?
All right.
And that's a pretty cool render.
Somehow I put the name here, Burj Khalifa house.
Oh,
I should probably put that on the title over here on
yeah.
the miscellaneous
Mhm.
instead of.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The guitar was a fantastic exercise in hard surface modeling as you're learning how to do that. I'm sure you learned a lot when you did that project.
Yes, yes.
However, the lighting in Maya, because it isn't an Arnold plugin or an after, Maya software plugin, is going to be one of the weaker lighting renderers to do this with. So unless you're going to be using the more advanced physics-based lighting rendering in Maya, you probably don't want to be showing this as a final render because there's so much more that you could be doing with it. Also, it's not materialed, it's not textured. It's just the exercise of subdivision modeling. So you could demonstrate that. You could show us some like how you did this the hard surface work if you wanted to showcase that, but the final output I wouldn't say is nearly as strong as some of your other renders. Well, the guitar is pretty cool though, so you could either finish the guitar and render it better or walk us through the process of how you did the guitar so that we could see how you do your modeling, which is cool. Yeah. Do you have an art station?
I did create one, but it's still empty. I haven't put anything in there.
So 3D has its own kind of, it's its own animal when it comes to how they hire, and hiring managers are in those communities, and so are art directors. That's where they go to find their talent. They don't go looking through random websites, right? I wouldn't say your website is random. It's certainly not. It's important to have one, but if they don't know about you, they can't really find you. Right. So they go to where many artists congregate. And so ArtStation is a very popular one. CG Society, I think Behance, and there's just a few more, but we're going to want to get out on those communities and make yourself very present as best as you can while you're looking for that. And if you're going to do film, you have a little bit more leeway about the kind of art you do. Games require you to have very high optimization and understanding of that. Film, not so much. So you can focus mostly on your high detail work with film. So ZBrush sculpts, hard surface modeling, and then just render them to beautiful sparkles. And that should be your focus, and just all of that. Do you want to do environment or prop? Do you have any idea what you want to do?
Eventually, I wanted to go to compositing so I can make my own short films and eventually get hired by a company or something.
The visual
Right.
production track in Unreal is really good. That's where they do the Mandalorian. That's where they do all of that stuff. So you having a strong understanding of 3D is really going to help empower that, and it can also give you some room to flex your video and film and editing as well. Like it's all kind of in there. So
Yeah, thank
look up visual product. Yeah, look up virtual production Unreal. Nice. Good stuff.
thank you. I have a tendency to forget things, so I write them down.
So
Same.
do we all.
Yeah, me too. I have a lot of notes, but sometimes I forget to look at the notes. So just don't be me.
I have a special folder. I'll make a special folder for my notes, so I keep looking at it.
Yeah. No, I think your work is great. I mean, I would agree with your living room. If it kind of feels like if you were an interior designer, you know, they would
Yeah.
make something very clean. But yeah, I mean, if you want to push, you know, do a story, maybe, you know, you could also work on lighting in this too. Like maybe it's dark. Maybe you could do a night scene and have like the candles lit. I don't know, maybe there was like a mass murder dinner, you know, like the Red Wedding. But yeah, I think your work is really strong. I like your portfolio in general. I think you present yourself really well. You're very confident. You like have a really good passion that comes through.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You know, in the few classes I've had you, you've always come across as someone who thinks things through, has a really good eye for everything. What I love, because you're thinking about film, we were talking earlier about the different stages of gaming artists, that environments are kind of a tricky place. But in film, you can there's more access to work, I think, and you have an eye for the detail in an environment, which is important for the little things, that not just the textures, but like it seemed like in one of the renders of the living room, it seemed like you had crumbs and stuff on the tabletop. I don't know if I was imagining that or what, but that would be the kind of thing where it looks like it's lived in. And those are the kinds of little things that the little touches that you do seem to get, like when you did the throne room and stuff, are the kinds of things that sell a 3D environment, that you've made it more lived in. You know, it's one of the things that comes up a lot, is that you don't want anything to look too plastic, too structured. You want to have chips in the wood, you know, and just irregularities and little details. And you have an eye for that kind of thing. And so that's a strength. It's a strength to have.
Yeah, actually, I was actually been looking to put like fingerprints and oil for your fingers in there, but it's too advanced for me yet.
Exactly what I was thinking about. Exactly what I was talking about. Just those kinds of things. A lot of people don't think of stuff like that, and you do, and that's going to serve you well.
I inspire myself a little from I'm a sucker for Marvel Studios. If you can see my little pictures back there from the Avengers, and then like in all their films, they put so much detail in the background that last a couple seconds or milliseconds that that nobody's gonna look unless they like look at it really in slow motion or with a real keen eye and like it.
Well, that's something you'll
that
find
back.
in film in general, is that those things get paid attention to. And there's a lot of great anecdotes about that, about how there's this marvelous Italian film called The Leopard, where Burt Lancaster was the star, but it was an Italian film. And he's an aristocrat. And when he went to the dresser, he was supposed to open up the scene, and everything in there were fitted silk garments that character would have worn. And he's feeling it. And he turned to the director and said, "This is real silk." And he said, "Well, yeah, I wanted you to get into character." There's a, the kind of detail that a real director will get into and think about. Same thing with, there's actually a set that was done for MGM back in the early 30s that had 11 different shades of white. And that was that the art director was that focused on how he wanted all those subtleties going on. And so film delves in that kind of detail. So you would fit in.
Thank you. I'm actually holding the camera in my
Mhm.
hand because I can't get it.
Mhm. Your strongest stuff is the stuff that you tell stories with, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. So I would try to make Story King and just focus on that, because even simple art done that tells a story very well catches professional eye. It really does. So start there. What's the story you want to tell? Like, that's a nice guitar, but what's it doing? Where does it live? Who owns it? Why? Is it magic? I don't know. Like, give us more. But yeah, but I keep going. Do you have any other 3D classes left with us?
I have your class next quarter.
217?
217, yes.
Can't
Because-
wait to show you things. I'm very excited. Okay.
Yes. And what's my other class? Actually, my next class is after that one is editing with Adrian.
Adrian?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But no, that your 217 is my last 3D class that I have before I graduate.
Are you gonna do a 299?
Yeah, I already applied to 299. Yes.
Oh, you did. Okay. Who
Well-
with me? With me.
It says your name in it.
Okay, it's me. Okay. I
'Cause-
am forgetting things.
Because
good.
CityLink doesn't, since both classes have the same schedule.
Oh,
doesn't-
you're doing that for 299. That's right. That's what we're doing that for. That's so that you can have access to 217's content, right? But
Yeah.
okay. Because the 299's proper use is where you can do a project with an instructor and they can walk you through like a start to finish. Well, not walk you through, but they kind of help you set up the milestones and keep you on track.
So
So
you
that's,
make your
yeah,
own
you're using it. What's that?
You make your own project and then they just help you succeed
Yes.
in it.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
And I would recommend that for you so that you can have kind of like a little bit of direction in a path that's very focused to what you want to do. I think you can do another 299. I don't know if you could do 2 in 1 quarter, but I know that you can do more than 1. I think you can do like up to 3
Oh.
for the
Uh-huh.
program. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I haven't been successful in finding a college that teaches visual effects or animation in Washington.
Mhm.
Like I look like at DigiPen, at Academy of Art. Craig, you gave me the idea of applying there, but I don't have the financial
Yeah, I know.
to
It's
go there.
expensive.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily need it to get it if you keep into the communities, and because usually people will share with each other. Like Nomon's got some decent workshops you can do as well that are much less expensive, but the school is crazy expensive. Like, don't do the Nomon Academy, but there are like workshops and things that you can keep doing, so
Is
you
it
can
spelled-
continue to supplement.
Is that spelled Gnomen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
GNOM. That's all I remember how to spell that.
No.
GNOM.
GNO.
And
I think you
yeah,
can self-learn a lot because like private school is expensive. I did
Yeah.
that. Don't do it.
That's also what the professionals do, because for all of us who graduated 10, 20 years ago and we're still staying relevant, it's not like we went back to school to get another degree. Like, no, you just keep going. So the self-learning is an important skill to maintain. And you're doing that, Pablo. You're doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
I for a blender actually, first time I used it was when I was 16, or I was still in high school, and I just bought courses on Udemy.
yeah.
That would teach me how to use it, and
Mhm.
yeah, you can find anything now in Google with
Or Skillshare. Yeah.
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 All right.
My
Any-
hand's getting tired.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Well, we won't keep you much
Okay.
longer then.
Yeah.
That wraps it up, right? Okay.
Yes, I think it does. I think that's everybody.
Okay.